Everybody, quick little homework help video here. This is the 22.1 worksheet. Talking about angles inside of a triangle, exterior angles, and then a little bit about comparing angles as well. Reminder for this one, we're just doing numbers 1 through 16. So, and they're all slightly different, but they're all kind of along the same lines. We are going to also be using what we've learned in the past about linear pairs and vertical angles. So make sure that you brush up on those if you forgot how to do those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 1 or 2 problems for each section where they kind of change a little bit. I'm not going to go through all of them. But let's start with number 2. Number 2, we just have a triangle. We're trying to find one missing angle, and we're really only given one. But really, we're given 2 angles because the right angle is 90 degrees. So if I want to find the missing angle, all I need to know is that all 3 angles in the triangle add up to 180 degrees. So I could say 40 plus 90 plus, we'll say this is our question mark, our x, equals 180 degrees. Add these up right away. The 40 plus 90, you might have done that right away and gotten 130. But then to get x, we just have to subtract that. So f plus x equals 180. We just have to subtract 130 from 180. I'll do it on both sides to show that we are solving an equation correctly. And end up with 50, 0, 5, 0, so 50. So that missing angle measure is 50 degrees. Okay. The first 4 are very similar to that. They're just finding the missing angle inside of a triangle. I'm going to go on down to numbers 5 through 8. Go over 1 or 2 of those. Let's start with number 5. Number 5, we're trying to find this angle right there, that question mark. But the thing with that question mark is it's not inside the triangle, and the one that's next to it isn't given either. So what we're going to want to do is either work so that we can find the one that's next to it, and then they're linear pairs, so we could subtract from 180 degrees, or we could find, if we could find this one, that's the other interior angle that's not next to it, and we learned that the exterior angle, which this is an exterior angle, is equal to the sum of those 2 interior angles that are not touching it, those that are non-adjacent to it. So if we found that one also, we could easily find the missing angle. So that's what I'm going to do, because we have 137 degrees given right here, and that was interesting. We have 137 degrees given right there, and that would be a linear pair with this other angle inside of the triangle. So I'm going to take 180 and subtract the 137. That'll help me find this missing angle right here. So that I'm going to have to borrow, got 7, right, that is a 7. So it's a 3, oh wait, and 4, so 43 degrees right here. And my knowledge of exterior angles tells me that the exterior angle is equal to the sum of the 2, is it doing that? Of the 2 interior angles that are not adjacent to it, that are not next to it. So that would be equal to 43 plus 102. 43 plus 102 gets me 145. So that's my missing angle. All right, I'm going to jump down to page 2 on number 9 right away. Number 9, we're trying to find this missing angle. It's a question mark. We'll say that's our x. But what we have is not enough information to find it right away. So we're going to have to use what we know about a couple things. First of all, let's just say we had this angle right here, this one. I'm going to highlight it right there. If we had that angle, then we could add that to 39 and subtract from 180 to find our missing angle in that top triangle. But we don't have that one. So in order to find that one, we might want to find this one, because these 2 are vertical angles, and vertical angles are equal. So if we find that one, then we'll have enough information to find our missing angle. So let's take what we have in this bottom triangle, the 40 and the 20, add those together, because if we add those together and subtract from 180, that'll give us our missing angle. Okay, so that's 60 degrees, or 60, yeah, 60 degrees. So 180, to get our missing angle right there, we do 180 minus 60. So that's a 120 degree angle. Okay, so that means that if these two are equal, this is also a 120 degree angle. And to find x, we could say that x plus 39 plus 120, or just add 120 and 39 together and subtract from 180, because those three added up should equal 180. So if I add those together, this one and this one, I get, oops, 159. And if I subtract 159 from both sides, in other words, I'm subtracting 159 from 180, I would get my x. So if I borrow, 10 minus 9 is 1, 7 minus 5 is 2, and then we got 0. So x is 21. So that missing angle is 21 degrees. So we had to do something first. We had to look at the triangle below to find one of those angles in order to find the angles from the upper triangle. All right. So that's one example of one of these multi-step ones where you'll have to do a couple of things before you can find the missing angle. I'm going to do a couple more, just like two more. Go down to 13. 13. Our angle that we're trying to find is way down here, this question mark one. So now if we could find, let's just look at this. If we could find the one that's next to it, we know that that would add up to 180. If we found the other two interior angles, like this one and this one, we know that those two are equal to that exterior angle. So we could do that. So far we don't have any of that stuff though. So we're going to have to try to find those things. So one thing I'm going to do right away is I'm going to find this one, because we have a line, a linear pair, adds up to 180. So 180 minus 155. 25. So that's 25 degrees. Oops. Too many things there. So we'll say 25 degrees. Now we got to find the lower left angle here. Let's use what we have. We could find this angle by doing 180 minus 115. We have another linear pair there. Okay, so when I subtract that, I get 65. So that's a 65 degree angle. All right, so 65 and 85 plus this one, I'm going to use a different color, plus this one, should add up to 180. So 65 plus 85, if I do 65 plus 85, I get 150, meaning 180 minus 150, which is 30, would be this angle. Okay, I know a right angle is 90 degrees, so we can add that in here. And lastly, all three of these make a line. So these three, I'll put them in a little loop here, have to add up to 180. So 30 and 90 is 120. 0, 12. And if I take 120, subtract that from 180, I get 60. That means this is a 60 degree angle. And now I know that two interior angles that are not adjacent to my exterior angle, since this one is an exterior angle, add up to equal my exterior angle. So I'm going to say x is equal to 60 plus 25, which equals 85 degrees. So my missing angle is 85 degrees. All right, last one I'm going to go over here is number 16. So number 16 and number 15 are very similar, just slightly different. The angle we're trying to find here is over here, and that is it's an exterior angle. So if I could find the other two interior angles, like this one and this one, add them up, it should equal that one. But we don't have one of those. So if I can find this one, I can get to that. And in order to find that one, I'm going to have to find a couple other ones. So let's use some of the things we know. First of all, I see some vertical angles. 45-degree angle is a vertical angle with this one, which means this is also 45 degrees. I love vertical angles. It's like you don't have to do any work, and we know that they're the same because they're at the same intersection just across from each other. Same thing here. 75-degree angle, vertical angle would be 75 degrees. Lovely. Piece of cake. Now, if we have a 45 and a 75, I'm going to add those up and take it away from 180 to find the third angle in that triangle. So that's 120 degrees. And I take my 180 minus 120 to get 60. That means that this angle is 60 degrees. So that's that triangle. Now, kind of like the last example we did, we have a line, and a line forms 180 degrees. So a straight line is a 180-degree angle. And we have two of the three parts of it. So let's add those two up. So 79 and then 60, and then subtract that from 180. So 180 minus 139. Oh, that's supposed to be 7. So it's 41. So that means this is a 41-degree angle. Now finally, to get my missing angle, we said that it's equal to the two interior angles that are not adjacent to it, not next to it. So if I add up 68 plus 41, which 60 and 40 is 100, so and 8 plus 1 is 9, so it's 109. That's a 109-degree angle. There we go. So, as you can see through a lot of these examples, you have to find angles that, like, to find your missing angle, you might have to find other angles first. And that's one of the beauties of this. It takes step by step. You have to do more than one step. You have to find other things to make it easier to find what you're ultimately trying to find. So that is the 22.1 worksheet. Just a sample of some of the problems. Make sure you're showing that work. Hope that helped. See ya.